Small Boat, written by Vincent Delecroix and translated from French into English by Helen Stevenson. Small Boat was shortlisted for the International Booker Prize 2025. Author's disclaimer: this novel is inspired by a true story that was widely reported in the press. With the exception of the elements of this news item known to the public, the following text is a work of pure fiction. November 2021, an inflatable dinghy carrying migrants from France to the UK capsizes in the channel, causing the deaths of 27 people on board. How and why did it happen? Despite receiving numerous calls for help, the French authorities wrongly told the migrants they were in British waters and had to call the British authorities for help. By the time rescue vessels arrived on the scene, all but 2 of the migrants had died. The narrator is an unnamed radio operator who works for the French rescue services and was on duty on the night of the deaths in the channel. She refuses to take the blame, but is disgraced by those around her who seek to hold her accountable for the tragedy. She is forced to confront her role within a faceless, unsympathetic system and her moral responsibility in the face of human tragedy. Why should she be more responsible than the sea, than the war, than the crisis behind these tragedies? A shocking moral tale of our times. Small Boat reminds us of the power of fiction to illuminate our darkest crimes. Novel asks simple question: could we all do better? It shows us how it is already inside us, in our language, our feelings, our relationships to news, politics, and each other. On inspiration for this book, author said, at the beginning of investigations, audio recordings of the communications between migrants and the young operator in charge at the center were made public. Their content is terrible. The young woman in charge shows no compassion at all, makes appalling jokes, lies, and finally expresses simple irritation, answering roughly and sarcastically to the desperate calls of the shipwrecked. This was the real starting point of my novel, a fiction that tries to imagine how someone with no evil in her, who is just anybody, can act and talk in such an inhuman manner and become a striking example of the so-called banality of evil, as Hannah Arendt put it. But the purpose was neither to formulate a moral judgment nor to just express loud and easy indignation. On the contrary, it was to suspend all moral judgment, and by writing an imaginary character, to simply try to penetrate a consciousness that could belong to anyone. It's an exploration of the mind, so the point of view of the writing is strictly hers, except for a short central part that describes the wreckage as dispassionately as possible. What does it mean to be a spectator of the wreckage, as we all are? What does it mean to stand at this point on the shore? How can anyone slip from a common and ordinary behavior to a calm, inhuman position? These were the main questions I wanted to raise, faced with a brutal and dreadful situation. The novel is divided into 3 parts. In the first, author imagines the fictional perspective of the female operator during the police interview. She is resolutely matter of fact. We get no sense of shame, only bewilderment that she is being blamed. The harrowing middle section is told from the perspective of the passengers, and author recreates their final moments. In the final part, the operator, suspended from her job, pursues herself that her thoughts, recorded that night, do not constitute the voice of a monster or criminal on the tape. It is the voice of all of us. Her reasoning reminds us of the growing indifference to the plight of refugees and despair of people fleeing war, injustice or poverty in search of a better life. How you see the world around you, what you think about that. If you pause and think, what questions raised in your minds. Enjoy the book. If you enjoyed the video, then please like and share this video. Do subscribe to the channel and don't forget to click the bell icon.